What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic CM. It's episode number 66, and we start today's episode off by seeing our season ticket earnings have now been put into our budget. We get around 31 million for the season ticket earnings. You don't get all of that put in your budget, but you do get quite a bit of it, and that now bumps our budget up to around 110 million pounds. We're around 3 to 4 weeks still remaining in the summer transfer window, so still happy to know, even after the big signing of Jan Oblak for 95 million pounds, we still have an abundance of cash to play with in this month of August. So delighted with that, because I mentioned in the last episode, the board have said to us this season we've got to win the treble, and I said really, and they said yeah. And I said really, and they said yeah. So basically, we'll win the treble in Season 3 with this Arsenal team. And the question I asked in the season opener is, are we good enough to do that? Now, again, I have very little concerns over the squad depth we have and the quality of squad depth we have, because we've got a lot of great players that can't even get onto our bench right now. So that shows you how good we are in terms of numbers. But do we have the superstars? Well, we just brought in a Slovenian, Jan Oblak, to play in goal. But do we have the quality, and are we going to be able to do it this season? I'm not too sure. Last season, of course, fell short of the Premier League title by 4 points. Yes, we won a domestic cup double, but we're going to need to really improve this season if we are to win a treble, which is a very tough thing to ask on me in just my third season here with the Gunners. So for the opening day in the Premier League, a tough fixture to start off with as well. David Moyes' West Ham away from home in a London derby. And I've got to be honest, man, defending in this game, I was absolutely shocking. I brought in Oblak primarily because there are going to be some moments when my defence lets me down, but I kind of felt sorry for the Slovenian, really, because the first 2 goals I conceded, I was just all over the place. I was just shocking with my defending in the opening 30-35 minutes. We found ourselves conceding 2 goals very early on, but the one thing I love about this Arsenal team is that we've got so many goals in us. We were the second highest scorers in the Premier League last year. This dude won the Golden Boot, and you could see why. He's got a cracking goal in the Community Shield against Liverpool, and that was absolutely brilliant from Suarez there. What a finish, getting his second a game, making it 2-2 and putting us back on level terms for the second time after we battled back from a goal down on 2 separate occasions. But 5 minutes after the restart here, I talked about my finishing sometimes in this year's FIFA being absolutely shocking. What the hell was that? I mean, I was going through one-on-one and I just blazed the ball way over the bar, and I mean way over the bar. 3-point conversion or what? That was just shocking. But soon after that, a few minutes after that, it's just so ironic how sometimes we're like the best finisher in your team, you blast the ball like way off target, and I mean way off target, and then with someone that's not known for scoring goals, you can get one with them with a clean strike. Boubacar Kamara scored 1 goal all season last year. That's his first on match day 1 after he got sent through 1-on-1. Somehow his finish was better than Luis Suarez's just a few moments before that. So in front for the first time in the game, West Ham 2, Arsenal 3, and just past the hour mark here. What a save by Jordan Pickford, keeping it a 3-2. Keeping Hammers in the game though, we would have a rear guard display defensively in the final half an hour. Totally different to the first half display where I was like Bambi on ice for my back line. So 3 to the final score. We win it through the goals we score. I mean obviously you can't win a game without scoring goals, but even so, we win it with our attacking prowess in the end and not our defensive ability, which is totally unlike last season. So 3-2, win on the opening day, and I thought after the game we still got again 110 million pounds in our budget. Considering how poor my defending was in that game there, I need to bring in a new defender. I need to bring in a new centre half, and I had 2 names on the shortlist, but one wasn't a centre half. Yeah, so we had Gabriel, who's moved on from the Gunners to Napoli and now playing at the Stadio San Paolo, and I really like the idea of bringing the Brazilian back to the Emirates Stadium, as we've done with so many players so far with Arsenal, such as Josh Da Silva and Smith Rowe and Saka and Nelson and so on. But unfortunately, Napoli had just acquired him in Naples, so we couldn't bring him back to the Emirates Stadium. But the other player on my shortlist was not a centre half. No, it was Declan Rice, who's moved on from West Ham to Leicester City in the game. And at 86 overall, in the prime of his career right now, at 26 years old, I was thinking, okay, this guy needs to be playing Champions League football. He's more than good enough. He's got the ability. We negotiated a £65 million deal with Brendan Rodgers, and after the success of Harvey Barnes last year, bringing in a former teammate to play alongside him this year seemed like a good move to me. So Declan Rice, we agreed a 150 grand a week, 5-year deal after the £65 million transfer fee was arranged, and Rice becomes our second signing of the season. And I know you're all sitting there saying, hang on a second, this dude ain't a centre half, he's a holding mid, he's a defensive midfielder. I know that, but you also know how much I love to change positions in this year's FIFA. Now it's a new feature. And if you look at Declan Rice's stats, he's a really physical player with such high stamina, such high strength, such high aggression, and defending as well. His core sort of overall rating for his defending is 85. He's a better defender than a dribbler, a passer, and a shooter as well. And it'll only take him 10 weeks to become a centre-half in this team with the medium-high work rate. To put it plainly, this guy has spent time playing centre-half for West Ham before, though of course last season under Moyes he was prominent as part of their midfield as a defensive midfielder. I totally understand he's more of a defensive midfielder, but again, I just love changing positions in this year's FIFA. I find it so fun. I'm going to say to Declan Rice, you're here at the Emirates Stadium, and I'm going to transition you from a defensive midfielder to a centre-back. So Declan Rice comes in. I was considering giving him a first-team squad number, by the way, because the number 8 was free, and more on that later, but I decided to keep him with the number 41. And a real quick question as well, does anyone know why he wears number 41? Because I find it's really cool. Like, I love players that, like, hold down, like, their first-team squad number from when they first came through the academy. Rice wore 41 when he first burst onto the scene at West Ham, and he's kept that ever since, even though he's now a regular in their first team, and of course captain as well. But yeah, Declan Rice wearing 41, I kind of like that as well. You know, unique squad numbers, when players have a unique squad number to them and they never change it. I like that a lot. So Rice will stay as 41 here at the Emirates Stadium. And again, he will be transitioning to play centre-half in this team. He'd make his debut in this one against the Magpies playing centre-half. And you could say he was partly involved in our first goal, blocking a shot, making it easy for Oblak to claim, and then from that, throwing out from the back of Slovenia, going on the offensive, and getting our first goal to make it 1-0. Smith Rowe then make it 2, so first half leading by 2-0 in complete control, or so it seemed in the second half here, 10 minutes after the restart. Oh, this was brilliant from Reiss Nelson, receives the throw, skips around his man, says see you later, but selflessly offloads to Luis Suarez as the Golden Boot winner in Season 1 with Arsenal, gives it to the Golden Boot winner in Season 2 with Arsenal, and you know Lewis this season is going to want to retain it. Third goal already for the Colombian as he makes it 3-0, and over 11 minutes to go in the game, still leading by 3 in complete control. Boubacar Kamara rolls it through to Smith Rowe. We're on the offensive once again. The Magpies in this game were so scattered, their position was awful, and as Emil rolls it through, there is Reiss Nelson to bag his first goal, so it's coming back from that long-term ACL. Arsenal 4, Newcastle 0. But the coolest part of this game, in total, was not the 4 goals we scored, but this was so much cooler. So it's stoppage time, right? We're leading by 4. The game is done. And so often, I'm guilty of, like, switching off in closing stages of games. And I've talked about this before. It's so frustrating when you're getting a comfortable victory and you're going to win regardless, but then you lose your clean sheet in, like, the final 5 minutes or so. That sort of, like, rear guard defensive sort of, like, blocking there, like, 3 blocks in a row. That just looks so cool. I love that kind of, like, commitment to the cause. And even though you know the result and the win is in the bag, you still want to secure that clean sheet as well. I thought that was really cool there. So 4-0, first clean sheet for Oblak, and Rice playing centre-half as well. And I like the player conversation after the game as well, talking about how he's willing to play as a centre-back, because that's part of our plan, and it definitely is. To me, I see Declan Rice as centre-back in this team, not a centre-mid. I know the Mikel Merino experiment didn't work out back in Season 1, but I think I've got a lot more faith in Declan Rice with the defensive ability he has got. So, yeah, following that, we had a couple of bids here for a couple of our youngsters. We rejected one for realism, and the other one, because Cunningham was pretty decent. But also, I decided to make a new signing to end today's episode off as well. And, again, I talked about it. We had so much success bringing back former Arsenal players here to the Emirates Stadium, be them Reiss Nelson, Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, Josh Da Silva, and I had another player I wanted to bring back as well, Eddie Nketiah, who, of course, was quite prominent in our QPR save for a brief period of time. He's moved on to Brighton in the game. And side note, how many pieces of business have we done with Brighton in this save so far? It's ludicrous, man. I swear, every single transfer window, we're negotiating with Graham Potter. But either way, we agreed a £27.5 million transfer fee, 5-year deal, 80 grand a week, and Eddie Nketiah returns to the Emirates Stadium. I don't think he'll be quite as impactful as the other 4 players we mentioned there, Smith Rowe, Saka, Nelson, and also Da Silva as well. But I really like him as a third choice striker. And again, I'm still not sure whether Kasper Dolberg is going to leave or get a new contract. And Nketiah is rapid. Again, he grew so quickly in my QPR save and ended up selling him to Man City for a massive transfer fee as well. I've given him the number 30 he wears in real life, so Guendouzi can now take the vacant number 8. And Eddie Nketiah is the 5th player we've brought back to the Emirates Stadium since leaving as well. I really like doing this. It's very fun. Bringing back those former academy graduates. Nketiah is the latest man to come back, and again, as a third choice striker, I wouldn't be against selling Guebels now that Eddie is back, and I think, again, he'll provide decent cover in the games where we might need someone else to step in. But that was this episode of the Realistic CM, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic CM very soon.